Hey, I just want to apologize for the delay in me making this video. School has been hella hectic and I've tried slowly making it, but I just couldn't manage it. Anyway, to the video! Psst, spoilers! But wait, hold on. I'm only covering season 1 today. That shit came out nearly 3 years ago. If you haven't seen it yet, you might want to stop living under a rock. I've actually got so much to say just about the first season of this show that this might genuinely be the longest non-gaming video I've ever made. So enjoy. I cannot lie, with the first half of Invincible Season 2 coming out, rest in peace the second half of Season 2, and we'll miss a weekly Friday episode drops. I think I've come to a decision. Invincible is peak fiction. I'm sorry, but yet again, I can't be any kind of apologetic about Invincible because it's just so good. I think I have two problems with the show as a whole. The first being not having a gazillion episodes for me to binge, and the second I will get into later in the video, don't you worry. Even though there's literally about 12 episodes total, including Season 2, I will make a Season 2 video another time. I'll cover the first half now, in the next video, and then I'll cover the second half when it comes out. The episodes are long and very packed full of exciting stuff going on in them, so let's get into the video before it starts getting too long, because it will become unwatchable. Believe it or not, the beginning is actually one of the best parts of all of Invincible. From what I've seen, I haven't read the comics because I'm a patient boy. But seriously, I don't like the beginnings from most of my favorite franchises like Harry Potter, while I'm waiting for the third movie to come because that's obviously where it kicks off. Like, but Invincible's intro probably could not be more iconic. The first episode makes you feel just about every emotion, and then some that you didn't even know you could feel. And I feel like that's why the show got so popular, because people like me got hooked onto the show so quickly just from the pilot episode that how could you not get hooked? It's like a drug, it's addicting. A part of every superhero origin story is the getting the feel of their powers, and Mark getting a feel of his powers is way more interesting than basically any that I've ever seen. It all starts off with Mark working his part-time job at Burger Mart, which seems to pop up again and again throughout the show, very clever writers, but back to my point. Mark is just doing his job, and whilst taking the bins out, he accidentally throws the bin bag into the f***ing atmosphere. This is huge for Mark. He had been waiting for his powers to kick in since he was a boy, and his dad told him about him coming from the planet Voltron. But finally getting what he wanted, the expected happened. It changed him. What isn't expected is that he went back to being himself. There's only a couple of scenes where Mark isn't being very Mark, like with his bully and his own mother. All this happens in episode 1. Mark goes back to being himself after this episode, but it's after having a chat with his own mother that he realizes what he's become, this other version of himself. And this clearly shows what a mother's love can do. Finally, after many long years, Mark has strength. All the strength in the world. He can practically take on anyone or even anything he can think of. And yet he still feels like he has something to prove. This desperate need to be like his father and prove that he can pull it off is shown again and again with I want to be just like you.
I want to be just like you.
This lasts the first 2 episodes, but after episode 2, he doesn't really say it out loud anymore. He definitely still feels that way, subconsciously. This need to be like his father Nolan completely dies out in the last episode of season 1, and I think we all know why that is. I like how realistic Mark's first big fight being with the Flaxons really is, genuinely. You can't tell me that if you were in the situation where you're meant to be the hero, but everyone around you is dying, you wouldn't even know where to start. It would be more overwhelming than anything you've done before. His hyperventilating, his expression, the way he looks around for a way out of this terrible situation. I like it all because it shows Mark's human half. He isn't completely Viltrumite like dear old dad. It's what separates the two of them. Another thing I'd like to mention for Mark and his humanity is the fact, unlike his dad again, he isn't below any type of kindness. It's not worth his time. Nolan told Mark not to help defeat Machine Head, but he did it anyway. Because even though this was beneath him, Mark and his mum both agree that any level of kindness, no matter how small, makes a difference. Sadly, he got his ass beat by Battle Beast, which I can make a whole short video on, but that's possibly for another day. Last few things I want to say about Mark's character is that he's just a huge goofball. He gives off such Spider-Man vibes while still managing to be serious, and it's super entertaining to watch. I like Mark as a character as a whole a lot, maybe a bit too much, though he can be an ass sometimes to some people like Amber or even Eve. I will talk about them soon, don't worry. In the end, he is genuinely a really good guy who cares for the greater good. And I know that may be cringe or cliche or the whole point of a superhero, but I just really like the way they did it with Mark. And I will talk about season 2 Mark in my next video. Yes, my next video will be another Invincible video on the first 4 episodes of season 2 because oh my god, season 2 sold it for me. My favorite show. End of conversation. This portion is going to be super short. I can't talk about season 2 Alan because this is season 1 video. But in my season 2 video, I am 100% talking about Alan, my goat. Anyways, season 1 Alan, he genuinely might be one of my favorite characters in the show. Like maybe my favorite overall. He's just so goofy but serious at the same time. I don't know who exactly he reminds me of, but oh my days, I love him so much. Alan literally only shows up twice in the whole of season 1 and yet still manages to be the best because he's just good like that. Alan mistaking Urath for Earth is so Alan. Alan in season 2 really shows his character off, like way better. You get to see his personal life and what his work really is, etc. Anyway, Alan rant over. I live for this type of stuff. Watching Dragon Ball as a kid did that to me. No, I will not apologize for that, just deal with it. There are unfortunately only 2 rage moments in the first season, the first being against the Flaxons and the second being against Machine Head. The first, against the Flaxons, everything was going downhill. The robot was paralyzed, Eve was suffocating, Duplicate was being killed off faster than she could duplicate, and I don't even know what Rex was doing, man. Mark was pinned down by some strange substance, but seeing his friends literally being picked off one by one, he explodes, beating the brakes off the Flaxon leader and saving the team. The second one being against Machine Head and his gang he brought together with his fortune. Now, my boy Mark and his homie were getting pieced up, I'm not gonna lie, but then Mark had enough and tore through all of them until the big cat started cooking. And I'm sorry, but I can't show you this whole ass whipping because it was too much, man. One thing I don't like about this show is how some of the characters really be getting on my nerves. I swear that some of these characters really get to my head. One example of this was when Robot was recruiting the new Guardians of the Globe, and they would do it in 1v1s. Rex starts talking smack to Monster Girl about the age requirement. First of all, he's not even wrong. There should 100% be an age requirement for a team as big as the Guardians, but okay, so anyway. Monster Girl starts wailing on Rex, and even though I'm not Rex's biggest fan, he is still a regular ass human. He doesn't even have armor, man. So Rex is literally having his bones broken and his organs crushed, and Mark being Mark, he stops Monster Girl by catching one of her punches, and she sends him flying. And I don't know if y'all see this, but look how big this room is. She literally sends Mark flying. Nobody even reacts when Rex is getting beaten, but the second Mark punches Monster Girl once, he gets gaslit into thinking he did the wrong thing, because, oh no guys, look, Invincible just hit a little girl. The girl is this universe's Hulk. Anyways, this really got on my nerves. Next topic. Okay, I really don't like Amber. Yeah, everyone has already talked about how much they hate Amber, and guess what, I hate it too. But I've seen people loving Amber, and I just can't stand for that. I can't let it slide. I hate Amber, and you all know why. Amber hates on Mark in like episode 6 or something for not telling her that he's invincible, and he obviously explains that. You know, it's a secret identity, dumbass. And keeping it a secret is the whole point. Also, another reason I hate Amber, she literally has a go at Mark in like every episode of the whole season. And yeah, she does usually have a reason for that. But you ever notice how she literally always goes to Mark after he gets his shit rocked in? Like when Mark took a beating from Tom, nearly dies from fighting Battle Beast, and then nearly dies again from his own dad. I'm sorry. I could go on about how much I hate Amber for a whole video, but Amber is not today's topic. You can't tell me that Mark and Eve wouldn't make the show's best couple. You can't tell me that. Mark literally likes Eve even when he was with Amber. It wasn't in the later part of his and Amber's relationship, sadly, but there are so many signs at the start. Look at this. You can clearly see the point I'm trying to make here. The writers just know that Eve and Mark are meant to be together. They're even together in the comics, but unfortunately the comics and the TV show have been stated to be 2 different continuities. So, Mark and Eve might not have been in the show. Very sad. Every night I pray the writers open their eyes, man. As if they wouldn't make the best couple in the show, and as if they wouldn't have the most broken child in, like, fiction. That's not even a joke anymore. Could you imagine a child with Viltrumite bowers and molecule manipulation? That shit sounds like a fan-made character, bro. Last thing, it's not even like I'm coming out of nowhere either. Eve clearly wants this to happen too. Where does she go after her boyfriend cheats on her? To Mark And listen to what she says, bro. You know, she clearly is upset about this. I'm even upset about this shit. I really want to know what would happen if Amber wasn't there. Eve sometimes even compares her ex Rex to Mark. When she explains to Mark that she wants to skip college to do something greater by helping the world directly, she says Rex would have, when Mark supports her decision, saying that Rex would have done the opposite. And when Amber dumps Mark, where does he go to? To Eve. Anyways, I'm sorry, I had to have that rant. I'm really passionate about how much I fucking hate Amber and how much more I love Eve. Eve's superiority, for real. Finally, we have reached the end of today's video. This has undoubtedly been my longest non-gaming video yet, but I really enjoyed making it, and again, I'm so sorry for the delay. I tried getting this shit out ASAP, but to be fair, I could have tried harder. I do apologize. Seriously though, I gotta wrap this video up because it's getting way too long. Thank you so much everyone for watching. My videos have been getting so much recognition now that I find it hard to believe. Thank you so much. I will be sure to keep making these videos because I find it so fun. If you like this video, please be sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below what you thought of it. That's all from Pel this time. Peace!
And it goes a little something like